So, welcome back to Mr. Jeffrey's Algebra 2. We're going to try to record in my loudest class that I have, where I get to learn all types of stuff about my students without even asking. They just come and tell me. Who knows? First of all, just want to thank all 53 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like, all that stuff. Because look, the hair's starting to grow, so we need some more. All right. So, there's a student literally 2 feet from me that just asked, "Is it really growing?" I don't know, Helen. So, all right, yeah, go have a seat. So, no. All right. So, first thing we need to do on number one is subtract 8. All right. Now, if we notice when we do this, can we have the square root be a negative? No. So, this would be no solution. Ta da! There's not on the test. Now, it's on the board, Helen. You cannot have a square root of a negative. Yes. We're not this. That's not zeros. See how it has a slash through it? This is no solution because we're dealing with real radical roots, only positives, not negatives, not imaginary. We cannot have a square root be a negative number, so no solution. You will not have one of these like this on the test tomorrow. They all have a solution. All right. Jeez Louise. Number 2. First thing you do is divide by 10. Math. We're talking about math. All right. So we get this right here. So we can get the square root by itself. Now we have to square both sides. Because that's how you undo a square root. Yes. Because before your parents were. Oh, before your parents were squares, they were square roots. And then they had kids and y'all subjected them to like the Wiggles and Mickey Mouse Curl Pals, and now they're squares. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for number 2, we get 46. Okay. Kind of straightforward, just unpeeling the onion. Yeah, it's called solving equations. It's a new thing. Been around for a couple thousand years. I really think most of my students have Tourette's. They just do not know yet. Or at least impulse control problems. Okay, so for number 3, first thing you would do is subtract 10. All right, now we have a cube root. So instead of squaring both sides, we actually have to cube both sides. I sub- I subtracted 10 right here first. That's what I did on the first step when your head was somewhere else. Talking about you know how to control yourself. So, boy, you failed. Yes. Look, I do love the class. I just don't like the random behavior, like the whatever stuff. Yes. I'm fixing to pick up this student and beat you with her. Okay. All right. So if we look at number 4 and we have a -6 right here, we have to divide by -6. Okay. Now, we're going to take this, and instead of cubing it or squaring it, we are going to fourth it. And being from Madison, that is basically the origination of the word fourth. All right, so we get 16. Remember that 2 to the fourth is not 2 times 4, it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so some of these on your test tomorrow will be multiple choice. Some of them will be this is how you solve it. Do the steps, put them in order. There might be a true false. Every time there's a little number in the gutter, you have to do the power on both sides. Yes. Okay. So moving on to part 2, and this is where a lot of people got lost. So the first thing you should do is square both sides. Okay. So we get this. Okay. We have to move everything over. All right. You can do it all at once or you can do it a piece at a time. So we get it to equal 0. And then we solve by factoring. Now, this is when we need to ask ourselves, what are the factors of -30 that when we combine them we get -1? Okay, somebody said 6 and 5. Which one's going to be negative? The 6. Now, if we were to solve this by breaking it apart like we've done before, ninja slice, we have x plus 5 equals 0 and x minus 6 equals 0. Or we could just find the opposite. The opposite is going to be -5 and +6. Now, the only one that we're going to use for this is the positive ones. This has a drop down menu for you to choose tomorrow. So you're only going to choose the positive answers. The reason why we can't have the negative is because if we plug it back into the top, we cannot have a square root be a negative. Okay? All right. Now, believe it or not, that's how you do this entire section. Okay? It's the same thing, just different numbers each time. Like number 6. We're going to square both sides first. Square, square. Okay? Then we move all this over so it equals 0. All right. Yes, I am moving kind of fast. I'm sorry. But I'll just have to wait for like 10 minutes for people to catch up or realize I've actually done a problem. All right. All of these are set up for one of them be positive, one of them be negative. Okay, think about it. What are two numbers you know that will go in the 27? 9 and 3. Okay, so 9's going to go right here, 3's going to go right here. So when we solve this, we would get a negative 3 and a positive 9. Which is the one that we need? The positive 9. Okay, that's what we need. All right. All right. Number 7. I wonder what we're going to do first. Yes, we're going to square both sides because that's what we've done on the past two problems. And then we're going to move everything over again. Move it. Move it. All right. Now, this actually factors as x minus 6, x plus 2. And by the way, for those that are listening at home, there's a really good conversation happening right next beside me about how much dogs cost. So if y'all can hear that on your microphone, that's going to be hilarious for y'all to try to figure that out later. Okay, so we would get a positive 6 and a negative 2. We only need the positive 6. In just a second. Well, I'm going to need more subscribers because I'm going to need a reason to buy more Rogaine because these kids are making what's here is here fall out. That's for daggone sure. All right. So, last one of these. Yes, you're correct, students. We do square it first, just like we've done the other three. I'm glad nobody has popped up and actually asked that question. And now somebody's going to do it thinking they're cute and funny, and they've never been cute or funny since they've been born. By the way, the nurse is available for people to put that to treat your burn. All right. Thank you. It is. So this would be a positive 5 and a negative 7. So when we solve this, this would give us negative 5 and positive 7. We only need the positive. Okay. Now, on this was the stuff that I had an example. I thought it was going to work, and it ended up being like 16,000 steps. And I was like, let's not do that. So I changed it. I tried to make it a little bit easier. I think you only have like one or two problems like this on the test. How many times do you get to take the test? 4. Does it tell you what you missed after each time? Does it tell you the correct answers? No. Okay. So that is number 8. To the back. All right. So now the questions like this on the test are put them in order. So the first thing you have to do is write it in terms, change this to a y. Okay. Then you have to swap x and y. And then after we do that, we solve for y. So what we would do first is we would add 3 to both sides. We change the h, as I said earlier, we changed this to y. Then we swap the x and y's, and now we're solving for y. All right, from right here, we cube both sides. So our final answer would be y equals x plus 3 quantity cubed. Where? It's an equal sign. For those at home, I usually get asked about my handwriting. And it's always funny that sometimes the people that ask about my handwriting, I don't know if they're writing in English or Sanskrit. Yeah, I get emojis like hashtag shoe winky face. Okay. So yeah, that's how some people answer their put their on their test. Except good thing about this, I don't have to worry about handwriting this time. Probably. All right. Are we going number 9? About to move on? Yeah. So, number 10. What's the first thing we do? Yeah, put a Y right here. What's the second thing? Swap the X and the Y. Now what do we do? Solve for Y. Now, a couple of ways you could do this one. Okay. We had something like this in class yesterday where we had to actually multiply both sides by Y. And we ended up with something like this. And then we would have to end up dividing both sides by x plus 2. So our final answer is like that. I still miss the student that when they used to talk to me, their eyebrows used to talk to me too. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Jeffries, I really have a question to ask you about this problem." I'm like, "Okay, student, I'll really help you on this problem." And then they got mad. It was kind of funny though. Oh, they could help their eyebrows. It was really funny though. They could. Yes, I know. You see, you can't do it. See, you can control it. All right, number 11. I like number 11. I like it. And if I was Lloyd Christmas, I would say I like it a lot. And no, Lloyd Christmas is not a privy to a Christmas movie. Dun dun dun. All right. So we replaced h of x with y. We swapped the x and y. Now we're solving for y. So we subtract 3 first. Okay. Then we would divide by 2. I'm going to write it out this way. Now, then we have to take the cube root. Okay. Trying to think how I do that. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. All right, so this final answer is y equals the cube root of x minus 3 over 2. I like this problem. I like it a lot. It's a good time. It's real nice. Got it at Target. That's a Ricky Bobby reference. Pepe Le Pew. Oh, they've already canceled it. We'll talk about that separately when I'm not recording. Shh. Okay, so all right, same process. And now all we have to do is divide by -4. Now, for my class, because I'm just cool like that, you wouldn't have to break this down any further. Other teachers and other mathematicians will want you to. I don't know why. It really means the same thing. So, unless you were like having to graph it, and I would not want to have to graph this inverse. I mean, I would rather have my pinky toe cut off with a spork than to graph this because your y-intercept's going to be a decimal. I want you to look at the problem and think of your question again. Okay. All right. Now, describe the shifts. So make sure you have your shifts straight. Bloop. Uh, this is our principal. So great. Okay, so what I took the time to write down as he was doing that PSA is this is actually how, well, look, we've had this with quadratics, we've had it with other stuff. We'll see it again when we do other equations and stuff. You know, A, it's negative. If it's negative, it's flipped. If it's greater, absolute value of A is greater than 1, it's a stretch. If it's less than that, it's a compress. H, if it's written as negative, it goes right. If it's written as positive, it goes left. K, positive up, negative down. Okay, so this is the one that has a drop down, and it actually has the numbers. This is the last question on the test, and it actually, you have to say like stretch, compress, left, right, up, or down. That's all you have to do. Okay, so this is going to be a stretch of 2. Then it's going to go right 3. And then it's going to go up 5. See, this is the stuff I told y'all that it's the last thing that we had to cover. We could cover it today. We will see AH and K again later this semester. I'm not lying. Flipped. This is compress of 0.65. This is I need this A stuff to get out of here. Okay, there we go. Left 6 and then down 34. Okay. Oh man, 15 is super hard. Up 15. And then this is left 16. Okay. You only have one question like this. I'd really pay attention to number 13. FYI, hint, 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 wink, wink, wink. Okay. All right. So again, thank you for all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like. Good stuff. Good things. Roll Tide.